Hey everyone, Julia from Sunday Sounds here. In this video, we're going to take a look at our song-specific patch designed in the style of the song you see on the screen. I'm going to demonstrate this song patch in its original key and at its original tempo. You can change the key you play or hear the song patch in by using Easy Transpose, and you can change the tempo as well. Details on how to adjust both the key and the tempo are included in your download. For this video, I'll be demonstrating the MainStage version of this song-specific patch. If you purchase the Ableton Live version, you'll be able to use this video to follow along just the same, seeing as the hand positions, song sections, layer ranges, and sound of the patch are the same. In MainStage, you'll use your mod wheel to move through the various song sections. In Ableton, you'll use the macro knob labeled Song Section. Be sure to check out the full demo video for this song patch to see all the parts and sections in order and how we move the song section control throughout the song. This song patch has piano, pads, synth, bass, and organ, all triggered in the left-hand range, which stretches from here up to here. Then there is a piano sound from this note all the way up the rest of the keys. When the song section control is at 2/3 or above, you'll also hear an organ and electric piano sound on this note all the way up to this note. At the lowest point on the song section control, you're going to play your pre-chorus, down chorus, tag, and outro. This part is just reserved for the last portion of the song. So at 1/3 on the song section control, you'll play your verses, your chorus, your down bridge, and your tag. At 2/3 is where you'll start the song with the intro. You'll also play the turnaround, medium chorus, medium bridge, and medium tag. And then all the way up is just going to be the refrain. And remember that whether you're in MainStage or Ableton Live, these positions are the same. For the intro, you're going to have the song section control at 2/3. You'll play octaves in your left hand and a piano riff in your right hand. Here's what the piano riff sounds like. So you'll notice I'm just playing thirds for this whole part, but the second part of this is a syncopated rhythm. So let me play it slowly just to show you that rhythm. So the quick part of this riff, you'll start on the and then go to the downbeat. So when you're playing it all together, it sounds like this. So you'll notice I do like to pulse my left hand thumb on this one note of your key as well. This is not required. You don't have to do that. You can just play the right hand and hold out the left hand if you'd like, but I just like to do that to add in a little extra flair. Then you'll move to your 5 and your 4 chord really quickly. I do also want to note that I like to keep my pedal up for the majority of this section, just so that those right hand notes don't get muddied up by having the pedal down. This part does come back later in the song as the turnaround. You'll play the turnaround several times throughout the song, usually as a transition between sections. So you'll play it after the first verse, and you'll also play it after the first chorus, and you'll play it after the second chorus as well. So just be sure to watch the demo video to see all those parts in context. For the verses, you'll have the song section control at 1/3. You'll play octaves in the left hand and simple chords in the right hand. Keep in mind you can voice your chords anywhere moving into this left hand range. So you have all the way from this note up the rest of the keys that are piano notes. So you can voice your chords wherever you'd like in there. So here's how I like to voice my chords typically. So I like to keep most of my voicings right around this middle C range, but sometimes whenever the parts are bigger, I do like to bring my chords up a bit too. Now you're going to play all 3 verses the exact same way at the same position on the song section control. So if you'd like to change it up a bit between verses, you can feel free to add in improvisations, or if you want to arpeggiate your left hand at any point. There are some places where I like to add in a couple extra notes, like when I'm moving from the 5 to the 4, I'll play something like this. So you can feel free to play with that and add in any extra notes that you'd like. The first time you play the chorus, you'll have the song section control at 1/3. You'll play octaves in the left hand and simple chords in the right hand. I like to keep these chords voiced around this middle C range like we do for the verses. Here's how I like to voice these chords. And there is another point where you'll play this note, but you'll play it as a 4/6. Then on the very last line of the chorus, you will break and not play anything for that entire line as you move into the next section, which gives you a nice break to move the song section control. The second time you play the chorus, you'll have the song section control at 2/3, and you'll play everything the same way. The next time you play the chorus will be at the very end of the song. For this part, you will bring the song section control all the way back down. You'll play octaves in the left hand and chords in the right hand. Now, this part is pretty stripped back. There's not really any other instruments playing at this time. So if you want to improvise a bit and arpeggiate the left hand, add in some notes in the right hand, you can feel free to do so. You can watch the demo video to see how I like to do this. You will play a tag at the end of this chorus where you'll repeat the last 2 lines a couple extra times. Then there's an additional tag where you go back and forth between the 1 chord and the 4 chord several times as well. Now, depending on how your band decides to play this, you may choose to shorten this part or skip it altogether. There's also a pretty long outro, so you can decide to play that full outro or skip it as well if you'd like. I will show you the right hand part during the outro because it is a bit different. Here's what the riff sounds like. Now this part is syncopated, so it does start just before the downbeat of the chord. Here's what it sounds like with both hands. And you'll repeat that several times as well. Be sure to watch the demo video to see this entire part in context. For the down bridge, you'll have the song section control at 1/3. You'll play octaves in the left hand and you'll play a piano riff in the right hand. Here's what that riff sounds like. Then you'll repeat that line exactly like it is one more time. Then you'll add in a higher note. And that short riff at the end. Then you'll play the next line the exact same way. So this is 4 lines. I'll play it with both hands now. Then for the medium bridge, you'll move the song section control to 2/3, and you'll play octaves in the left hand, and then you're going to play the second half of that riff in your right hand. So with that higher note during that first section, and then you'll jump up to play that riff up higher. And you'll play this a total of 4 times. For the refrain section, you'll have the song section control all the way up. You'll play octaves in the left hand and chords in the right hand. For this part, you'll start with a 5 chord, and then you're going to immediately after you play that, drop out for a couple beats, and then go back to the 1. Here's what that first part sounds like. And then for the second line, you start on the 5 again. Then for the second half of the refrain, it sounds like this. So there is another dropout during that last line as well. After you play the refrain once, you will hold out that 1 chord for a total of 8 bars. Then you're going to play the refrain 3 more times. Now the first 2 times you'll play everything the same way. Then the last time is an a cappella refrain. So if you want to drop out entirely, you can choose to do that depending on the arrangement your band decides to play. Or if you want to continue holding out a low pad or just something of some kind, you can bring the song section control down to either 1/3 or all the way down and just hold out the 1 chord in that lowest octave of your left hand range. Now, if you bring the song section control all the way down, you will only have piano, but if you leave it at 1/3, you will have some pads as well. So you can decide to make that call. For the section that is called the tag, you'll start with the song section control at 1/3. This does start with a short interlude where you'll hold out the 1 chord for 4 measures. Then you'll play the tag. And this part, you're going to hold out your 1 chord for the entirety of this section. There is a riff that you'll play on top, and that sounds like this. It's repetitive throughout the entire portion. So you will hold out the low octave as well. So here it is with both hands. Now, because this part is so repetitive, it's really easy to lose track of where you're at, so I do like to reattack that low octave at the beginning of each line. And if you are playing along with someone singing, it should be easier to follow along too. So you'll play through the majority of this tag at this position in the same way. Then once it starts to build, you'll bring the song section control up to 2/3 and continue playing everything the same way. Like I said, this part is a tag, so it can be different depending on how your band decides to play it. You may choose to cut this section altogether or just play a short portion of it. So it's pretty repetitive, like I said, so just be sure to practice that and know how many times you're going to play it. For the pre-chorus section, you'll have the song section control all the way down. You're going to play octaves in your left hand and chords in your right hand. Now this part is different than the rest of the song. It is a little bit different in style, so you're going to just play short notes in both your left hand and your right hand. And here's the rhythm that you'll play. So you'll start that first line just by playing the 1 chord. And in your right hand, you can either choose to play the chord down here as well or up high. I like to play it down here for the first line. Then for the second line, I like to bring my hand up higher. And just continue that throughout the rest of the pre-chorus. Now in the original recording, there's lots of improvisations happening here. If you want to learn some runs to play in your right hand or some other additional chords you play up high, you can absolutely do that. But there is no defined right hand part during this section. So if you want to keep it simple, you can absolutely just play those simple chords right here in your right hand. Now following this pre-chorus, you will continue for a tag that is another 4 lines long. Depending on how your band wants to play this part, you may choose to shorten this or lengthen it as well. So be sure to watch the full demo video to see all these parts in order and how we move the song section control throughout the song. Song-specific patches work best in the Sunday Keys template for MainStage and Ableton Live. Sunday Keys gives you all the sounds and tools you need to play live worship keys, and all of our song-specific patches integrate seamlessly with Sunday Keys. You can learn all about Sunday Keys for MainStage and Ableton Live on our website. Thanks for checking out this song-specific patch. I'm Julia with Sunday Sounds, and I'll see you next time.